In this video, I'm going to show you how to create curved text so you can turn this blue part of the globe candy dome into a print or cut design and put messages on it. For graduation, you could put world's greatest teacher, you're out of this world, any kind of message that goes along with the globe. So I have imported the globe candy dome files, and I am using the Silhouette Business Edition in this tutorial. And I have this page set up to be letter size because we're going to be using a letter size paper. Now I'm going to click M on my keyboard to activate these registration marks because this is going to be a print and cut project. So we need to know where we can legally put our text and our cut files. Legally means inside the red and not on these hash marks. So when it prints, it's going to print the square and these black lines so that the machine can scan and know exactly where everything is supposed to be so that it cuts correctly. If you don't want to click M, you can go up here to page setup, click the far right, and then choose registration marks on. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to organize the layers a little bit. So we're going to go over to the layers panel, and you'll see we have, this is the layer that we imported, 4 polygons. That's the 4 layers of this project. So these 3 layers, you're just going to cut out of paper as normal, but to keep this video shorter, we're just working on how to do the curved text. So we're going to click the plus sign and we're going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call that globe cut. You want to organize and name your layers so that when you go and send it, you know what you're dealing with, and it's also to know what to show and what to hide. So now I'm going to click on the globe so I know which of the 4 polygons it is, and I'm going to drag that up into that layer, and I'm just going to hide this layer, hide the rest of this stuff. Now I'm going to go to the color palette, and I'm going to make this a lighter color so that we can see it, but we're going to be able to see our text on top of it well. I'm going to go back again to the layers, and I'm going to make a new layer, and this is going to say text print. Okay, so we're going to make sure that layer is highlighted. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to make a circle, and you want your circle to be 3.5 inches. So you can hold down your shift key so it stays as a circle, and you can just drag it and watch the numbers change. Or you can go up here and make your changes in the panel. So we have our circle. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. And I'm actually going to make 2 because I'm going to show you how to do the text 2 different ways. Now we're going to choose the text and we're going to type what we want. We're going to start with something simple like class of 2023. I'm going to highlight that all and I'm going to give it a color, black. We're going to put, we're going to put this text so that it curves around the top of here and fits in here. So obviously this font size, way too big. So I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to choose 36. I think that's going to work. Next, I'm going to grab this little circle and I'm going to go near the circle shape, and you'll see as I get close to it, the software is like, oh, you want it here? You want it here? So we're going to move it until it goes on the top, and then just kind of move it along the circle so that the C and the 3 are lined up. All right, so now we have it on the top of that. You can move it over top of the globe and look, and that looks great. You have space on the top and the bottom, so it's not going to get cut off, and that's going to look good. Now, let's say we want to put this text down here as well, but we don't want it to look upside down. We want it to look like this, but we want it down here. So now we're going to do that. Move this circle up here. I'm going to write again. We're going to drag this again to this circle until it goes on the inside. Okay, so it's on the inside. Does that look good? No, the letters are too close together, and if we look at it over here, it's too curved. And the reason it's too curved is because it's on the inside of that circle. These letters are on the outside, and so they're sitting differently than these. But don't you worry, we can fix that. Let me zoom in. You're going to double tap to reactivate the text, and you're going to see this thing right here. It looks like a zipper. And when you move it just really slowly down, you'll see the letters are moving to the outside of the circle. They can go that far out, or they can go way close in. So you want to move it so that the top of the numbers and the C and the L are touching the circle, like that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, the size of the font looks good. It's fitting in there better. But you'll notice these letters are closer together than these letters, but we can fix that too. So you're gonna click on this to accentuate it, and then we're gonna go over to the font and we're gonna change the character spacing. Now, if you're not a font nerd like me, character means what it is. Like it's a letter, it's a number, it's whatever, that's the character. So the character spacing is how far apart or close together the characters are to each other. So you just slowly move this and you can see, make them way too close, really far apart with this. So I like a 90% spacing. That looks really good. It looks similar to up here. This whole thing looks great. Now, we're not ready to print and cut yet because we have to get rid of the circles that the text is on, or your machine is going to think, oh, she wants that cut or he wants that cut too. And it's going to make a mess and you're going to be very unhappy. So what we need to do is we need to highlight everything, right click and ungroup. Now, when we ungroup, you'll see now there's a box around every individual letter. So it has ungrouped the letters and the circles. So now we can select that circle and either delete it, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer called circles for text, because maybe you're going to want to go in here and do another one later and you want it to be different. So we want to just save time and save those circles. So you can just go down here. I highlighted it. Well, let's make sure we have this one ungrouped first. So now we can go in the text print layer. All the polygons are letters and these two ellipses are the circles that we put them on. So we're just going to drag that up, put it in our new layer and hide it. So we have it ready for later. Now I'm going to hide globe cut because we want to group these. I'm going to group them individually. So the top, we're going to group. The bottom, we're going to group. Now you'll notice the bottom isn't lined up really well. The C is way higher than the 3. So I'm going to turn that and just using these guidelines to make sure they're kind of even. And then those are looking good. I did a better job with that one. Now we're going to get the globe cut back out because we're going to make sure we have this in the right spot. Now we're going to highlight all 3 and we're going to align them horizontally. So now we are ready. However, if you want more than one, you can fit 2 of these on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So I'm just going to line those up. And now we're going to hide the globe cut lines and you're going to print. Just choose your printer, choose your media, however your printer works, and you're going to print that. And it's going to print with these registration marks that we had talked about before. Okay, so just send that to your printer and get that printed. Now, once it's printed, we're going to come back to the layers. We're going to hide the text print layer and we're going to show the globe cut layer. Now, I am also going to select those and I'm going to make them a darker color just so it's that much easier for Silhouette to know that's what I want cut. And I'm going to click send. Make sure you choose your material that you want it to cut. Make sure the red lines are only on the inside and outside of these and that there's no extras, like that you didn't forget to hide the text lines. And you're going to cut that and then you are good to go. Wanted to write something longer and you wanted it to be more personalized. Maybe it's for a gift or you're doing a party and you're going to put all your kids' friends' names on their globes. Let's just look at how that works. It works the same way. You're just going to need to do your sizing different. So we have our circles to line things up on. We're going to do our text. And then I think I'm going to need like 18 point. So let's see how that works. I'm going to grab this circle. Put it on the outside. I'm going to Move that around so it's even. And I'm using this guideline to make sure the C and the 3 are about the same distance from that. All right, and then let's put that over there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. But let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. Try 24. Yeah, we can do a 24 point. And that's good. It goes not quite halfway, so that's going to look really good. So now if you want to put it on the bottom as well, or say we want to, instead of putting the same text, we want to put the school. Okay, let's zoom in. This is a good reminder of how this works. So we're going to double tap to access that or activate that, and then we're going to move the zipper so the text goes out just outside of the circle. And go over here, and I'm going to change the character spacing. I'm going to hide the globe to cut. We're going to ungroup these, show the globe again, grab those 3, make sure they're lined up, and then we're good to go. As you can see, you can do long text or short text. You could skip the bottom, just do it on the top. Lots of ways to go, but you can do it all within your Silhouette Studio, at least Business Edition software. Now let's put this graduation candy globe together. Here's everything you're going to need. A glue gun. I'm going to use a tape runner. You can also use regular glue. I have a pad of paper to put under it so I don't get glue dots on my workspace, foam dots, all the paper pieces, a half of a clear fillable ornament. And then to make the diploma, I'm just going to use a 3x3 piece of paper from this memo pad and a ribbon, and I'm going to put money inside here instead of candy. You can obviously do either. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put together the top, so the front part of this. So you can decide, now this part is you need to line up perfectly with the inside circle. So these 2 circles, and that is what is going to go over the globe. Now you can decide if you want your stand to go over top or under this part. Well, I think we just answered it, because if it goes over top, it's hitting your words. So we're going to be putting that underneath. So to make sure that you get it lined up perfectly, we're going to leave that there without gluing it down. And I'm just going to put adhesive dots on the back of this. And then I'm going to line it up, touch down the bottom part, and then move this. And then press this down the rest of the way. Then we know we have it where we want it to be, and it's going to not be underneath this part. So you have a nice space here between your stand and your congratulations globe. Then we're just going to put the dot adhesive on the back of this, and we're going to put this on and try and keep that level. You know, unless you want it on the side, you can put, you can put it however you want. Maybe you want it that way. And then you're just lining up that center. Now we need to get the candy, or in this case, money dome done. You could put money and candy in there. Now you're going to take this, put the back on top, and then flip it over. And then for this design, you want this hook part facing down, because that's where you have the most bulk for covering it, because it will make the paper bubble a teeny bit. I'm going to turn on my glue gun, but before I glue it down, I'm going to put the top over the bottom and line up the edges so that I know exactly where that candy dome needs to be glued so that it gets lined up correctly. If I just guess, everything's going to be off kilter. Then I'm just going to run a bead of glue right around the edge and make sure it is touching both the paper and the plastic. It's kind of like caulking. Redoing your bathroom, around your windows, it's going to seal that nicely. This would be great to use as a gift, like I said, with money in it, for if you're giving a gift to a graduate, or if you're having a graduation party, you could just make a bunch with the class of 2023. You could, if you want to, personalize for the graduates' friends and have all of them have names. It could be great for a senior night. So many ways to use this. And it could be preschool graduation, tech school graduation, anything. Now we're just going to line up these edges and get that sealed. And you'll see it bounces up a little bit down here because we're going over the hanger of the ornament. That's why I always put it towards the biggest part of the paper. So that's great. Now we're going to make our diploma, which basically involves rolling up a piece of paper. You could write a little message. You know, if you're giving this as a gift, you could put your message in the diploma and make sure they know there's a message in the diploma because they might not realize and not open it. And then I'm just going to tie this ribbon around there. I always do a much longer piece than I need because it's hard. It's going to be hard to knot if you keep it small. And I'm just going to grab some scissors and trim that. Then you can either glue this down. I'm going to use the little foam adhesive dots and just put 2 on there, or squares rather. Gives it a little bit dimension, and I feel like this is going to help this element stay on here a little bit better. Put that there. So that can be done like that. Now let me show you what it'll look like with the foam dots. So we're going to put the foam dots on the back. You can put as many as you want, but really 3 or 4 is going to do the trick. We're just going to place that down. And so now we have a little dimension with the rolled up diploma and having that popped up a little bit, and then this popped up a little bit too. So totally personal preference. You can turn that wherever you want. You could have printed and have it say class of 2023 going all the way around. You could put the school name, anything that you want. So that is how easy that is to do.